right, so you have this geometry book in front of you, and you need to go ahead and put your name on the front. And I'm going to go ahead and go through some of the pages that you should have labeled, because I know that we've had some people that have been absent and have missed some of that information. So just starting on page 1, we're thinking about this kind of part of a line that has 2 endpoints, and so you should have in your booklet line segment. So a line segment is part of a line and it has 2 endpoints. Alright, and we've been doing our geometry yoga every day to just remind ourselves of that. The next thing is a ray is part of a line that has 1 endpoint and extends forever in one direction. So if I was thinking about an example of a ray, I would have an endpoint, and then of course I would have that line that extends, and the arrow would show that it was extending. So just backing up a minute, if we had line segment, we would have a part of a line, but it would have 2 endpoints inside. So we could call this A, B. So line segment AB is within that line. We could call this A, we could call this B, and so that would be ray AB. Alright, and so the next sentence that we have there are it would be a type of line that they never cross. They always stay the same distance apart. And so you should have parallel lines, are lines that stay the same distance apart. So when I think about parallel lines, I think about railroad tracks, because the tracks of the railroad, they never cross. You have the right and the left. Sometimes we see these vertically. So there's your examples. Alright, so the next thing that we're going to fill in would be intersecting lines. Intersecting lines are lines that pass through a common point. So that would be like your X, because your X, your letter X, you have this common point where things are passing through. And it might be a letter like A. So when I think about the letter A, I think about where 2 lines intersect. 2 lines intersect. So sometimes they don't always have to go all the way through, but they are passing at that common point. So those would be intersecting. And then the last one that we have would be perpendicular lines. So the difference between perpendicular lines and intersecting lines is that when they cross, they form corners, and those corners have 90-degree angles. So some examples that you should probably put in your book would be some letters of the alphabet. These are great examples to use because they're something that we know. And so one of the most common ones I can think of is the capital letter T. So when we have that intersection, we have that 90-degree angle here on both sides. Another letter that I can think of that's a great one to use would be the letter H, because where they intersect, you have 90-degree angles here. Okay. Even the letter E or the letter F or even the letter L. L is very common. So you have that 90-degree intersection. Okay? All right, boys and girls, so that is page 1 of the geometry book.